Hey guys, good morning. It's Drake with the RPG Construct, and we are doing another session of this Harbinger playtest campaign, the Infinity series, session 6, that we are going to be calling Resistance. It's been 6 weeks, 7 weeks since we ran this one, so I'm going to give a little bit of a recap. Our party found that their former AIC employee, Andra Opal, had a tracker somewhere in her body. Nardo knew of a old, I guess you would say, mechanic or mechanist friend that may be able to help them. This took them to the ice moon of Oth, where, for some odd reason, AIC was not able to track anyone due to just some of the interference in the geography there. When going there, Nardo found they went through this settlement. A couple other interesting things happened, which may be important later. Nardo found this mechanist named Simmons. Simmons said that he could absolutely help, but that he needed some equipment. He sent the party to some caves on the outskirts of the settlement where they had to meet Old Fred, as he called them. Old Fred was, as they learned, a giant full-grown garworm, which is about a 20 or 30-foot worm. Think Dune. It will eat you and die. Kind of this like acidic blood kind of thing. Nardo picked up several packs full of equipment and brought it back to Simmons. Simmons did eventually successfully remove the tracker from Andra's chest piece that she had, that she was wearing, that kind of helps her with her breathing. Although she was hurt, she did survive. And at the end of all that, as she was in pain, as she was getting healed through these spheroids, they heard a knock at the door. And the people at the door were found to be AIC, basically troops, coming for them. Simmons showed them a small trap door in the bottom of his place, leading down into basically just a dark tunnel. The party, a few feet in, heard the footsteps of someone and kind of talking. And basically blew up his place and killed everyone there. And the last thing they heard was just rubble and everything just falling. Obviously, anybody in that place was... So the party begins there, in a dark tunnel, kind of a dank smell. The walls are sort of slimy. The only thing that you notice here, besides just the complete quiet, is that your Marquise's character just seems to be just staring at that trapdoor, almost just kind of in a daze. And that's where we begin today, guys. All of you have come a long way. Andra and Nardo, especially from the beginning. AIC has tracked you to this place. And although now they're not able to track Andra anymore, you are. Andra, you know that troops don't come by themselves. You know that a ship is surely here, either in orbit, high orbit, or low orbit. And you know what that means. If they know you're here, they're going to send more. Again, guys, what would you like to do?
Nardo, you know there's got to be a ship out in orbit with all these troops here. What do you think we should do?
Nardo's kind of looking in the same direction, towards the tunnel, the collapsed tunnel. When Andra talks to him, it kind of brings him out of his kind of malaise. He turns towards her and says, "Damn, I don't fucking know, man. I just usually follow orders. I'm new to this whole fucking figuring it out shit."
We do not have time to discuss what's going to happen. We need to get in the trapdoor now. They're at the door.
Actually, Lloyd, I apologize. I don't know if you remember the intercession. You guys already went in and down the tunnel, and Simmons already blew up his whole thing. You guys are actually in the tunnel already.
Okay.
I know it's been like 2 months since we had the game.
We were just about to go in.
No, you guys, the troops already came in. Simmons, basically, you heard some shouting, and then he just blew it all up. Already in there.
Yeah. So I'm picturing like dust is just starting to settle from the explosion, and it's just kind of washed over us. So Nardo is looking at you, Andra, and he's thinking to himself, "We gotta get out of this tunnel. It's the first thing we gotta do." He looks down at his rifle, presses the release, and checks the magazine. Still sees bullets, so he jams it back in. Let's get moving. But at the same time, he's thinking, I gotta know though. Simmons is a survivor. Something just doesn't sit well with Nardo. That's not in his character. But he doesn't say that to the others. Let's go. And he grabs, and I'm totally spacing on Marquise's character's name.
Cepheus.
Cepheus. He grabs Cepheus roughly and he says, "Let's move." And he kind of shoves him along.
And as you do that, he actually stops. And in the way that Cepheus Adorn is, he just kind of gives you a look, and he says, "No, I got to take care of something. You guys go." And he walks back towards this trapdoor, and without looking back at all, he kind of pushes it open. And the last thing you see is his feet go up through. You hear him kind of rummaging around for a few minutes. And you see two kind of packs with the AIC logo fall down through the thing, through the trapdoor, followed by the just kind of loud metal on metal slam of the door. And you just hear this kind of muffled voice say, "Go, I'll catch up."
You crazy bastard! All right, Cepheus, we'll meet up soon.
Yeah, Nardo goes over to the two packs. He doesn't even open them to look. He just scoops them up, shoulders his rifle, and throws the packs over to the other shoulder. He looks at Andra and says, "That guy ain't right in the head. Might be better that we don't have with us anymore." And he just kind of walked past, moving down the tunnel.
He just saved my life. I think he's all right. I hope he'll be all right.
And as you guys go down the tunnel, Nardo, give me a nature check.
That's a 9.
Okay. these tunnels don't look to you to be man-made. They're a little too, they just kind of, flow, and there's areas that are bigger than others. It doesn't look like a machine made these. It was probably some type of an animal, but you just don't know. But I'm assuming that you guys would break out some of your, what are they called? Glow rods, or whatever it is for light. And you just see this kind of endless blackness. And it doesn't really change. The scenery doesn't change. You walk for probably 10 or 15 minutes. You end up at what you're sure is a man-made structure. Looks like a riveted, solid steel door. A small kind of eye slit in top that's closed. And the one thing you do see on it is that Dorn, it's a symbol that you recognize. It was the same one that was on Simmons' door.
Yeah. It's probably good news. Probably good news. Maybe not for Dorn, but for the group in general. And so he would turn to the rest of them. It's that same symbol. I guess we knock.
What do you guys want to do? There's nowhere else to go except this door. Or back.
Nardo just looks at the other two for a second, nods his head towards Dorn, and just knocks on the door.
And after probably 30 seconds, you hear as that little eye slit opens, and you see the eyes of one has like a linen kind of patch over it, and you just see one eye, and he says, "Password?"
Under his breath, Nardo goes, "Fuck." He says, "I'm going to be honest with you, man. It's been a long day. We don't know the fucking password, but Simmons sent us."
And he kind of looks a little bit. He said, "Simmons sent you." Hold on. And you hear, and the little eye slit closes. And you hear some just kind of muffled voices behind it, but it's very, very, just barely able to hear it. And you hear just kind of the, just as you can hear multiple locks moving, and the metal just, as things get turned, and this door slowly opens in. And you see the rest of that man with kind of the linen coverage, as well as 5 or 6 pulse rifles aimed at you, people. And that man looks at you and he says, "Where's Simmons?"
Dead, I think.
He takes a step closer, pulls out a pistol. And Dorn, he's standing directly in front of you, and he's holding the pistol about a foot from your forehead. You answer my questions wrong. You may just join him.
And Dorn has this look in his eye, like he's not really too afraid of the pistol, or the guns, or whatever it is. And he would look at him and he would say, "Listen, that may have come across wrong. There was some agents that came to knock on his door. He sent us down to the tunnel and he blew them to hell."
Agents? You mean those AIC fuckers? How long have you been down here? Don't you know what's going on? In this tunnel, probably for about an hour. That's about it. Nothing crazy. But with that, he sees Lionel. He kind of peers towards you, and he sees the AIC logos on those packs that you're holding. And he said, "You." Come here. AICs on the surface. You're holding AIC packs. Tell me why we shouldn't shoot all of you right now.
Okay. And his hands are up, nowhere near his weapons. He goes, all right, listen. I don't know what the fuck is going on. AIC wants us dead. We know shit that they don't want other people to know. We can work together. I don't know what's in these packs. And he kind of just touches the straps. He goes, they were dropped down in the tunnel. And he's going to lie a little bit. He goes, I don't know if Simmons dropped them down or one of our companions that we lost. So, and he's just going to gently kind of just start pulling the straps off. And he will take a step closer toward him, like he says. And he says, you're welcome to look in these packs.
He would walk towards you. Again, taking his gun, just putting it in his holster at his hip. Now, all these guys are dressed in just very tattered garb. Some in just basic, clothing. Obviously, it's cold, but it's all kind of tattered, raggedy clothes. A lot of layers, and none of it looks clean. All of them look dirty. Their faces, their clothes. Andro, one of the things that you notice for this particular guy, his nails. For some reason, you notice the tips of his nails are just black. It's just dirt. And I would think that somebody who was raised in the way that you were they would find that very strange and probably a little bit gross. But he goes to these packs, Lionel, and he pulls them back towards him, takes a few steps back and begins to open them and go through them. He finds 2 AIC, basically communicators. One WhisperLink and one, it looks like an old school kind of radio. Not one that you put in your ear, but one that you actually hold to speak. He finds a lot of AIC kind of tagged clothing. You see a couple pairs of gloves. You see some goggles, 2 pairs of kind of goggles. They kind of have this copper sort of sheen on them. Not really sure what they're for. And then just kind of little odds and ends. It looks like, Nardo, you would know this to be kind of the standard trooper pack. There's a couple rations and a couple things. It's just in case he's going to be away from the ship for a day or two. Just kind of the basic provisions. You've had this pack before. You know kind of the standard of what's in it. And looks at you guys and he says, these were thrown down from Simmons' place, huh? And he looks at one of his guys holding the guns toward you. He says, go, just check it out. Report back. And you see one of the younger guys, probably in his late teens, run straight past you guys towards that area where Simmons is. Says, well, I guess part of your story checks out. All right, you can come with us, but no funny stuff. And he turns his back to all of you and begins to walk away holding those 2 packs. 2 people walk in front, 4 behind as you continue to walk down this tunnel. And he says, so you are the reason that they're here. We've been safe here for years. And you bring these fuckers to us. Who the hell are you that you're going to jeopardize everything we've done here? You can't be that special. Why would they
We didn't exactly know you were here.
It's the one place in the galaxy, or at least in the system, where AIC can't track you. It's the one place where you can hide. It's B. And Dorn, he looks at you and he looks at kind of your tattoos as that siphon, as everything that they did to you. is really evident. Anyone who's in the know knows what you are. He's like, you knew that. You knew what was here. You know, at least the Seps know. Maybe they didn't give you that information, but I have a feeling you've been here before. And he just kind of gives you a look.
I have been. They didn't know. I was trying to not lead them to you, but here we are.
Something tells me you know a little bit more about us than you're letting on, or that you've shared with your companions. And he pauses then, Dorn, and he turns around and he says, let's be honest. Why don't you tell your friends what you really are?
I'm a hardworking man.
Let me rephrase. Why don't you tell your friends what you were?
So he's like rubbing his face. I used to hunt people, I suppose you could say. Find them, and particularly people of a certain persuasion, people of a certain type. People who didn't work in the way that my sept wanted them to work.
And with that, he kind of has this little grin, kind of that, half of his mouth kind of goes up, and he comes over to you and he rolls up his forearm sleeve, and he has a tattoo with that resistance symbol. And he said, yeah, people like me.
People like you.
It's been a long time. And now you're back here. Karma's a bitch, isn't it?
Look, if you want to execute me for whatever treason you think I've committed against your resistance, then just do it and stop talking about it.
I didn't say I was going to execute you. In fact, I think I may have a job for you. Someone of your unique abilities could be useful. Or maybe today we all die. Either way, we'll figure something out. But I think it's important for your friends to know what you are. No one is clean. And I'm sure these other two, they're not clean either. No one here is without sin. And every one of us is going to die. But hopefully not today. He just kind of shrugs, turns, and begins walking again. Now, Andra and Nardo, hearing this, would you guys have any reactions or say anything to Dorn?
Andra's been pretty quiet and is kind of at a point of introspection. She is definitely not in any position to judge Dorn for prior behavior, considering what she's participated in.
Yeah, Nardo's in the same boat. Knowing what Nardo used to do, he used to collect people for the corporation. So, yeah, he is anything but clean. So, if anything, he's thinking he's in good company because we're all shit.
Okay. And Dorn, would you look for a reaction from the other two after what you said, or would you just keep walking? Would you be concerned with it at all?
Yeah, I think you probably would be. They've saved each other a few times now, and they've become, maybe not friends, but certainly colleagues. So he would be looking for a reaction and not getting one. He'd probably be more worried than if they were like, oh my God, seeing just blankness, or just yeah, that's fine. He'd be like, oh, that's trouble.
Okay.
He's right. We are all sinners. All we can do is hope to move forward, committing the right actions. We'll never be absolved of our sins, but we can try to make up for them.
Sins? What century are you in?
And
Sorry, I didn't
Sins.
quite catch that.
He said, "Sins. What century are you in?" And Dorn would like
Anything
spit, and he would say, "Sin presupposes that there is a god or something that cares. I've been dead. There's not."
That's a great quote, Lloyd. And as you guys continue down, you overhear that guy, that main guy with kind of the one eye. You overhear him talking about these tunnels. You overhear him talking about how these, again, you only get bits and pieces, but you glean that these were tunnels kind of bored by the worms on this moon, that they're everywhere and that you can get anywhere that you want if you know. And only a few people know all the tunnels or even have a map for all the tunnels. But you realize what they are. And you come upon a second door and a third door. And through that third door, it opens up into a very large kind of cavernous space. There are dozens of people kind of scuffling around. As the door opens, they don't even notice. People that look like this group that you're with. They have weapons, but they're old and worn, some rusted. You have kind of makeshift looking computers. You guys are still holding everything that you came with. There's nothing that they've done with it. They're just walking with you. But you guys notice that this seems to be some type of a base or some type of a center of operations. You see that resistance symbol everywhere, on the sides of computers, on people's faces, on the walls, etched in, sprayed in. It seems to be the, what is that? There you go. That. Lloyd can probably put it up. He's got the picture. But you guys see this everywhere. And this guy walks over to a very large monitor. And you can see this is kind of a very bad quality camera, but you can see it kind of looking at the sky. It's probably a 50-inch monitor. And you see it as it pans back, you see the settlement. So this camera is quite a distance away. And above the settlement, you see an enormous ship. Andra, you instantly know what this ship is. This is the AIC flagship known as Kronos. This is the ship that Timothy Opal was the Spectre in, or is the Spectre in. This is your father's ship. This is not something that they send for your average everyday mission. Has the best technology, the most destructive weapons, and the most troops. And it's hovering over this settlement on Oth. And as you see this, a crowd is beginning to kind of form around this thing, and you can hear whimpers, you can see wide eyes, just in complete fear of what may happen. What would Andra say?
Andra's probably not going to say much. She's going to stop in her tracks and almost reach out and kind of like squeeze Nardo's hand or wrist because she knows he knows. But I don't think she's going to let these resistance troops know what she knows about the ship.
And what about you, Nardo?
Yeah, seeing it, he's probably they're gonna delay. It takes him a second. It's when she holds his hand and kind of squeezes it that that's when he puts the pieces together. And he looks at her, and he just kind of returns that human gesture of contact, and he returns the squeeze in a gentle way, not that abrasive, hard-ass way that Nardo's been.
Okay, and Dorn, you would probably have heard about this ship. You've probably not seen it, but you would probably have an idea of what this means. Go ahead.
Yeah, I guess he would have seen Sept ships in his time that maybe are as big as this, or maybe not. You know, it's a very impressive sight, and he would know that like big corporations and Septs don't send like things like this for routine inspections or for, you know, casual missions. Like, it's real. Boots are on the ground. This is like much more than he wanted to get into with AIC.
Okay.
If Dorn like scans us to see our reaction, Andra wants to try to give him like a knowing look, like, hey, I kind of know what this is about, but I'm not going to say anything. And I think she can convey that, and, you know, just like a look towards Dorn. Mm-hmm. You know the look.
And as you guys watch this, you know, this video, this screen, you do see kind of smaller transport ships coming and going, probably half a dozen, going up and down and going kind of into the bay. Here, the ship is easily 1,000 feet, 150 meters for Lloyd. This thing is enormous. And like I said, you estimate it's hovering about 1,500 feet over this settlement. And this settlement is probably only about a mile around. It's not very big. And you can see these ships kind of going to the outskirts. And this one-eyed guy has kind of looks around and he goes, "Who are you? The AIC flagship? What?" And he looks really kind of confused. And honestly, his one eye gets a little bit big because we can't survive this. What do you know?
I told you.
They must be here for you.
Oh. Strike what I said.
We've been here for years. We've been hiding here for years. No one ever came, except for people like this guy. And he motions over at Dorn. We can handle them.
Snipers on this map.
Yeah.
That's all everybody.
Yeah. Nardo looks at Andra and he just shakes his head, and she sees the look on his face. It probably unsettles her a bit.
Yeah,
She's probably seen it a few times with Nardo as they've traveled together. And he goes, "The fucking time I'm sick of lying. These people aren't enemies, Andra.
I don't know. It's called the Survivor.
I told you. We know shit that could literally," and I apologize for my kid in the background. I know shit that, I mean, we know shit that could take them down. Could blow wide open all the bullshit they've been doing. And it's really important to them.
I guess if Simmons trusted them and he could save me like this, we should trust them too. She'll say, "Look, we came here looking for Simmons because we needed him to remove the AIC tech from my body." She'll like show the scars to this guy. He was able to do it, and I was barely kept alive from my companions, but I was able to make it through. And as soon as the operation was done, these troops come bursting in. They must have been able to find us here. And now Simmons is dead. We don't know where we're going. And the flagship of AIC apparently is on our ass. And to make matters worse, She like goes and points right to the ship. The Spectre on that fucking flagship is my father. She's just like, like totally just like, shit's fucked, man. This sucks.
And hearing that, Dorn or Nardo, would you guys have any reaction at all, or just like?
Well, I think Nardo's knee-jerk reaction would be, fuck, once he says that. Because, I mean, he wants to be honest, but that's probably a little too much honesty for Nardo. So once Andra does that, he's like, oh, wait. And I'm going to give I will give Dorn an opportunity to say if he's going to react or whatever. But then Nardo would kind of go into, and maybe with Andra's help, letting these guys in, kind of bringing them in, not all the details, but letting them know about how Spectre Tech works, how it's not as noble and as grand this venture as AIC wants everyone to believe. But we would kind of let them know that. Yeah, does that sound agreeable, Andra? I think we would dive right into that because these guys, they got to know.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. She's just kind of like spiraling out of control, just like, everything sucks. This is terrible. Look how bad AIC is.
Dorn would just like roll his eyes like, of course that ship is her father. Of course. Obviously that's the case, because it's the worst thing that could be, and that's all that ever happens to us. And he would just like roll his eyes and just like, fuck.
Spectre technology. You have proof? You have proof of everything that you're talking about?
Yeah, we got fucking proof. I mean, we're not stupid enough to have it with us here.
Why am I even playing this? I don't even like
Is it in that ship that you came in?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I can't remember. Is it on that ship? Is it on that ship? I thought it was on Lloyd's captain's ship because we had didn't we leave? Yeah, that's the one. Oh shit,
we gotta find that guy.
And with that, the guy kind of takes a long deep breath, and he goes, so this is it. We have everything that we wanted. And now what do we do with it? And he kind of walks around this monitor. It's kind of a centralized monitor. He's kind of walking around, kind of very deliberately, kind of looking down and kind of mumbling to himself. And the crowd again gets bigger. There's probably 3 or 4 dozen people in this area. And he says, how are we going to do this? I mean, countless members have died for nothing. And now some strangers come and they say they have the answer to all of it. What we've been waiting for years to bring them down. For what we all knew. We can't save you. Barely save ourselves. People barely have enough to eat here. Do. I need some time to think. And he just kind of, this whole time, these guys have had their guns kind of drawn on you. He just kind of motions for them to put their guns down. And they do so. He says, I don't know how long we got, but you're obviously on our side. Unless I find out otherwise, then we'll just kill you. Probably faster than these guys will. And he just kind of sits down, and it's that kind of hunched, sitting down in a chair. You're kind of hanging your head, putting your arms, kind of on your knees. And he's just shaking his head. And he just keeps saying, I don't know. And as he does this, everyone starts to kind of mull around, and you hear some people crying. You hear You even see some kids just kind of running around. Obviously, families are here, and this is obviously there's people coming and going. There's other chambers in this area, but everyone's really just kind of glued to this monitor. No one really has anything to add, but you can see the look on everybody's face. They're lost. Their hope is gone. Whatever they were going for, they're realizing that they're not going to find it.
Nardo would take that opportunity to walk over to Dorn. And he would remember back to the conversation that they had. Geez, it seems so long ago. Dorn is all about Glint making that next payday. He walks up to him and he says,
of course they hit the trench gun.
man, look around. This is what we were talking about. These people. They're the Walking Dead. They got nothing. Nothing to hope for. But even then, they still fight.
They're behind.
We have to get off this fucking...
Supposed to be impressive somehow that they continue to fight when the odds are 100 million to 1, when there is no chance of victory. They continue to fight. That is supposedly admirable. That is ridiculous. It is comical. It is not admirable. It's the act of an idiot.
We gotta get off this fucking rock.
I have an idea.
And I was just saying, you're the one that most likely knows how. You've been here before. He looks over. Yeah.
Okay,
he looks over his shoulder and he's got this kind of sad look on his face. He said,
Ninja defuse.
They're done. And I don't agree with you, Dorn. Fuck, I probably never will agree with you. One thing I know is we have the only chance.
They're still going for A.
Only chance of making anything right.
So I have an idea. You're not going to like it. In fact, these guys will hate it. But I think it's probably the best way to get AAC off our backs, and that is when you are confronted by a very, very big dog, you call an even bigger dog to protect you. And so if there's a long-range communicator, I could contact Sept Grimmar and inform them that there is revolutionary information about the Spectre technology here on this planet. They will send more than one ship. And maybe in the chaos, we and these people can get away.
Well, we're running out of options. Andra?
AIC wants to kill us. The resistance to AIC wants to kill us. Seems like it'd only be natural that this Sept Grimmar would also want to kill us. But hey, if they all kill each other, maybe the innocent people can get away. I think your idea just might work, Dorn.
Now, before we go into this, I need to tell you that messing with the Sept is not the same as messing with AIC. There is a major difference. The Septs do not... Like, you think that AIC are bad, you have no idea. People like me are the norm for the Sept. They find people, soulless people, and they send them after anyone who fucks with them. There are things in those vaults in Sept Grimmar, and he's like getting it really worked up and kind of like paranoid about it. And then he's like, look, I'm willing to do it, but I'm just saying, the odds aren't good for us.
And this guy hears this, and he stands up. And he's like, you guys can call me Jack. And a small chance is better than no chance at all. And he kind of looks at you, Dorn, and he says, yeah, we have a We have long range radio. And he just kind of motions for one of his people to kind of take you to the other chamber, Dorn. And you can do that. And as you kind of go through this door, another one of these heavy metal doors, ornately done with the symbols in all different colors. Andra and Nardo, you guys are still watching this monitor, and you see kind of the front of the ship kind of go down. So there's a little bit of ramp, and you see 3 figures, again, very small figures on it. Hold on one second. Is that better, Lionel? Is the voice getting there too? Or is it just the picture?
Starting to.
Starting, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna shut off the video and see if it's better. Sorry. Is that any better now? With my video?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll just do this for now. So one thing that you see as this thing opens, you see 3 figures. And again, it's distant. This camera is got to be a mile away, but it slowly zooms in. And you see 2 figures that look like their feet are not touching, but that they have kind of a blue glowing collar around their neck. And it looks like this collar is almost holding them up. Their bodies are limp. And the 2 figures in front seem to be dangling over thin air. They've moved out past the ramp. And as this camera zooms in, Nardo and Andra, you guys see 2 familiar faces. One of them is James. The other one is Dorn's captain. And this 3rd figure, you see him kind of holding something, kind of looks like a remote control or something. And you see him fiddle with it. And then probably 200 feet, you see this projection of face. You see, it's basically like a hologram, but it's being projected from the ship. And you see, again, in this video, as this camera pans back, you see the ship with this greenish kind of, it just basically looks like a giant glancer that you've seen on ships, but it's so much bigger. And you hear this voice echoing throughout this whole area, even where you are. You can hear the echoes even deep underground where you are. And it says, to all below, we are searching for AIC fugitives. We have reason to believe that they are being harbored in this settlement. AIC will give you 24 hours to bring them to us. If you do not, or if we find you are harboring them, you will be destroyed. If you hear this, Andra, Opal, if you hear this, Nardo Rhodes, I believe these 2 are friends of yours. This is an example of what happens if you help enemies of AIC. And you see him mess with that control again. And you see the blue color of those collars dissipate. And you see both of those bodies fall straight to ground. And before this glancer kind of fades away, he says, I am Director Titus Ranford III. I will destroy you. And if you have any honor within yourselves, you will not take these people with you. You have 24 hours, beginning now. Otherwise, immolation protocols will commence. And then that kind of glancer image fades away. And the front of that ship closes. Would either of you have a response? Or say anything to that?
Of course I do. Nardo looks at Andra and he just like is desperate. He's like, the fuck was that?
Oh, dang it. Okay.
What the fuck was that all about?
Yeah,
Shit. They've got James. They've got Dorn's captain. Oh, fuck. Man, who don't they have? They're everywhere. They just called us out. These guys are going to turn on us, Nardo. We got to get the fuck out of here.
Shh. Keep your fucking voice down, Andra. I gotta think.
Oh,
And,
I'm upstairs.
Oh,
No, I got it. See, that's why I'm going down there.
Wait, so
The
the bodies dropped
oh my gosh! I
straight
didn't
to the
realize that.
ground, 1,000 feet.
Yes.
Horrified
Yes,
is what
that's-
Andra is.
Yeah, that's why I was saying, what the fuck was that? So he's kind of like, he kind of walks away a few feet. He's kind of rubbing his head. He's like, fuck. He walks back over to you, Andra, and he's like, do you think they have the other shit too?
13 kills so far.
I mean, they have to, right? They had the captain and James. They had to find those. Oh shit, I can't remember what they're called.
The Lorium vials.
The vials. Do you think they have the vials too?
Absolutely. They have to have it.
Fucking cube. God damn it.
Lloyd,
We got
did
to
you,
get Dorn and get out of here.
Lloyd, did you hear what happened? What's the last thing that you heard?
No, I heard that the ship was making an announcement. Like, you have 24 hours to surrender them to us, or else we'll destroy you.
And you would have heard this as you were kind of going through, because it's on several monitors in the area. Did you see who the people were? Did you hear who the people were?
Right, my captain and James.
Right. As an example, you found that it was found that the regional director, Titus Ranford III, was the one standing there. You've heard this name before. This was Rando told you had signed the order for your execution for you guys. He then dropped your captain and names into thin air 1,000 feet above the settlement. And that was the last thing that happened before the glancer ended. Just FYI.
So Dorn is like so hard bitten that his assumption was the captain was there because he had betrayed him. And so when he saw him there, he was like, that son of a bitch. And then they throw him off the ship and he's like, I see.
And Jack kind of turns to Andra and Nardo. What's immolation protocol? He said, if we don't give you immolation protocol, what is that? I mean, I know what the word means, but what does that mean for AIC?
shit. I'm pretty sure this means this is out of character. Sorry, Drake. I'm pretty sure this means they're going to destroy the planet. Is that accurate?
Not the planet.
Just the.
Like glass a settlement.
Oh, this is. Yeah, that's right. This
Go
is
to
like
your
just
go to your
disintegrate.
messages, Philip. You have it in your messages that we talked about in the last month.
That's right. Sorry, that's right. It's been a little bit.
That's why I give you this information, man.
Okay, sorry. Extra infused atomics. Okay, yeah. So Andra will say to this guy, it's just a standard protocol that they will search out for people. And then she wants to like try to pull Nardo and Dorn aside. So she'll try to talk up like, this is just what they do when they're searching for people. It's they're trying to get you to sacrifice us. Don't do it. Don't listen to them. She doesn't want to let him know what it actually is.
Give me a well, I don't know, what do you think? Performance, persuasion, what do you think?
Deception.
Deception check, yeah.
Deception.
Deception roll.
That's charisma, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
14.
Okay. His DC was going to be 12. So, okay. He wants to believe you. He wants to believe you. So he just kind of nods and says, yeah, they do that. And then he goes back to just looking at the thing and talking to some of his people. So you have an opportunity to speak to Nardo. Dorn's not back yet.
Okay. And then I'll say to Nardo, they're going to fucking disintegrate everything here that isn't 30 feet or more underground.
We're gonna move as little as possible. Okay, we're planted a bomb.
24 hours. Sorry, was I here as well? You called me as well, right?
You can hear it, but you can't hear what Andra's saying. You're still in the other room. It's just Nardo. You can get filled in here in a minute. It's just those two right now.
How far below ground do you think we are right now?
Not 30 feet.
And
Fuck.
yeah!
If we don't get either below ground further or these people out of here, every living thing is going to be vaporized.
Didn't Simmons say that they used to mine this place?
Oh, they're all at the artillery guns.
Yes, he did in the original thing. That this started as a mining colony. Yeah.
Okay, I'll go A. I'll go-
Yeah, do you think
It's gotta be.
we can
It's gonna be
find a
shafts.
shaft?
Maybe there's some of that old tech left. Oftentimes when companies pull out,
No!
it's more expensive for them to pull out their gear. They just leave it,
11, 10,
decommission it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Do you think we can trust this Jack guy?
What option do we have?
Well,
not. Oh,
I
sorry.
just lied to him. I think you gotta be the one to tell him the truth.
Yeah.
No, we have
Okay.
30 seconds.
And with that, we're going to pan over to Lloyd. And Dorn, you get taken into this kind of just this small kind of communications room. It's just got wires everywhere, kind of a makeshift, area. It's obviously kind of a haphazardly thrown together thing. But you're familiar with this particular technology, and you think it probably could reach one of the outer posts for Sep Grimar. And the guy just kind of motions for you to, sit at the communications kind of console, and you can do whatever you want. I'm assuming that you would know the frequencies and everything like that.
Yeah, I assume there's like code words and stuff. So he would once he manages to find a frequency that is Sep Grimar, he would say, the wolf howls, the eagle soars, the warrior returns to the hole, something like that, something kind of vaguely coded or whatever. And that would be, I guess, code for them to put him onto a manager, put him onto somebody who's able to deal with what he's about to tell them.
Okay. And after a few minutes, that a familiar voice would come on. a voice that you haven't heard in many years, but you know it to be one of the higher ranked members of the Sept. And basically, again, in code, he would say, it's been a very long time. Why are you sending this message? What could be that important that you would risk us finding you again?
I believe that the information that I have is worth more to you than my destruction. I have acquired specific information about the creation of specters.
And he would go, people have made that statement before and haven't been able to follow it through. Have you acquired the technology to create them?
I have been to the facility where they are created. I have seen the process. I have acquired the Lorium archives necessary.
And why would you be giving us that information?
Because AIC's flagship is currently above the planet I'm on, threatening immolation. And I believe that you are the bigger dog in this fight.
We are certainly not the bigger dog, but we certainly have a bigger pack. You, unfortunately, are several days' travel away, even for our fastest ships. If what you say is true, keep this information. And if you do not have what you say you have, the consequences will be severe.
If the ships don't make it here in 24 hours, I won't be here to give you the information.
We will do what we can. When we arrive, we know how to find you. And then you hear the as he cuts off.
Dorn would just like quietly say, "Praise Sept Grimoire."
And he brings you back out after that, and you can rejoin your companions here. So if you guys want to talk at all about anything, you're welcome to do that now, or fill him in on what immolation protocols are or anything like that.
When Dorn comes out, he probably sees Nardo and Andra like talked in hushed tones. And when you come through, we both probably snap, look at you, and like motion you to come over quickly. And let you know AIC is planning to implement the immolation protocol. They just dropped your captain and James 1,000 feet off the ship. The immolation protocol is going to destroy all living things that aren't 30 feet or more below ground. What are we going to do? Were you able to contact the Sept?
I was, although they're more than 24 hours away. However, I think that they're just desperate enough for this information that something might appear. But I wouldn't count on it. We should try and get below the ground if we can.
Nardo would nod in agreement to that. He would look over to where Jack is, and he would walk over.
Yeah, so did I.
Gonna be honest with you, Jack, and he's gonna keep his voice a little bit lower so the others can't hear. I mean, he doesn't care if Nardo or Andra. I mean, Dorn or Andra here. He says, Andra wasn't being straight with you. Immolation is going to kill everything on this planet. Unless you're 30 feet or more. Now, you've been here longer than us. I know this used to be a mining colony. Are there any tunnels, mine shafts, any gear left that could get people to safety?
Well, yeah, that's how it started. There's 2 more platforms about a mile out. I mean, there's tunnels everywhere. You just walk through some. There's garworm tunnels. There's mine shafts. There's, you know, they stopped mining because of the worms. They kept getting in the shafts and messing everything up. But yeah, there's technology. It's rusted and old. It's been sitting out, you know, in the elements for years. But I think there's 2 platforms left. What are you thinking?
I see
How could that help us?
handstand on this block.
What I'm thinking is we can access one of those platforms.
I wish it would be
Drill a
a lot
shaft
easier
deep
if
enough.
you were in first person.
They'll freaking smoke this planet. They'll think we're all dead. They'll leave. Mission accomplished.
Nothing's ever that simple.
Right. We're a fucking shit out of options. It's the best one we got, unless you got something better.
No, give me a history roll.
Yeah, that's going to be an 11.
Okay, actually, you only need since you knew this, you actually only needed 10. So you know how these mining platforms work, and I think you have a picture to share that these things mine through lasers. They're on 3 or 4 legs. If you guys, Philip and Dorn, can see, and they shoot this laser down, and that's actually the mining, I guess, platform. Obviously, there's places to sit up front. These things can actually move, and they can walk kind of like, you know, kind of like a spider. But that is the general way that these things work. And according to him, there are 2 of these still on the surface. Again, they may not be standing upright, they may not be powered, but they are there. Just to give you guys the idea.
How deep can these things dig? How far can that laser fire?
With enough time, it can go down as far as the center of this moon.
And what if you pointed it up?
You pointed it up. Why would you want to do that?
Like up at a certain flagship.
And you see his face, and you see his one eye get really big. And he goes, if we could find a way to power it, I think it would be possible. That's an idea, though. That's certainly an idea.
If it can tear through rock and bedrock, it can definitely tear through the hull of a ship.
And he looks really just kind of concerned, like, but at the same time, almost this smile is on his face, like, why didn't I ever think about that? But we only have 24 hours. How could we power it and aim it? I don't think I know how to do that. Do you?
Listen, Dorn is... Don't let his frail physique fool you. He's got skills. Get us to that one of those platforms. We'll figure it out.
He says, I'll give you 3 of my best men. I'm taking everyone down into the tunnels. If what you say is true, we have to save as much information as we can. We have to tell the people on the surface to get below. There's not enough room for everyone, but maybe we can save some. I'm sorry, I'm not going to be any more use to you. My place is with these people. They've trusted me. Now I have to do everything I can to keep them safe. These 3 will take you where you need to go. I don't know how this technology works. I don't, but I hope you're right. If you are, I'd love to see their faces. If you can actually make this happen. I wish you luck. You don't have much time. Here, take these. And he gives you those AIC backpacks back, Nardo. And he says, I wish you luck. If not, maybe I'll see you in the next life. And he starts to move around and kind of tell everybody what's going on. And you see kind of this very deliberate movement, just everybody kind of getting scared and kind of running around. They have a little bit of time, but they start packing up computers and like lore vials and papers and anything that they have, and they start just running out of this chamber into the door to the left. Until after a few moments, it's just the three of you left with these other three people.
Really quickly, Drake, before Jack leaves, one of the things that, sorry about that. One of the things that Nardo would do is he'd take one of those old school radios and he would give it to Jack. And he would just say, I'm not sure if this will work. But it's probably the safest way for us to communicate with each other.
Kill me by accident.
And maybe they would say, like,
You'll get kicked.
channel,
I thought that was you.
go on channel 6.
I said that I would literally kill
Yeah, you would know that the standard channels that AIC used, and you would know that channel 6 is not one of them. So you guys should be fine. So that's fine. And he just kind of, with his one good eye, he just kind of gives you a wink and a nod, just as a kind of in agreement with everything. So that's where the three of you stand with your companions, your helpers, so to speak, and they will be able to take you to this outdated mining technology. And with that, we're going to take a break, guys.
Awesome.
Lloyd, that was a very good idea, by the way.
Yeah, we don't have a mechanist, but I figure like if I could just pour enough Astra in it with Andrew, we might be able to like get it to shoot. You know?
We'll see how it works.
Yeah.
That was a great
This would be
idea.
great. That was a sweet idea.
I'll be back in 5, guys.
Cool. See you in a sec.
Hey guys. Sorry if I'm getting all pixelated and stuff. How is it now, Lionel?
Same. It's kind of all pixely.
Okay, so
No, not this
what if I shut off the video? It's better.
Yeah.
No,
Okay,
no.
well, by the next game, it'll all be fixed. See, I like seeing, like, doing facial expressions and the hand stuff, and it's very odd when I'm just speaking. So,
No, I hear you. I'm running a campaign right now where some of the players weren't comfortable being on camera, and it's so much. For me, it's so much harder. I like to see the players, and I like
We
to.
just find each
Yeah,
other.
you can play off it.
Yeah.
you can play off it. I agree. But whatever, it's fine. Yeah, the reason that I really kind of miss Marquise in this game is there were so many changes to the Mechanist, and I really want him to test those out. You know. You know. But it's all good. Your kids seem to be having a lot of fun, though.
Yeah, he's having a blast behind me. It's actually pretty funny.
I love that little picture of them mining things. That was actually the inspiration for this game. I was on like Pinterest and I was looking up mining stuff, and I was like, oh, well.
There's so much great art out there that literally it just triggers ideas for sure.
I mean, not that it's a shortage of ideas, but when you're looking for a point of a game, you can just see that one picture, and you can run a campaign just off that picture. But yeah, man, I gotta get this thing all set up. I hope one of these days get everything done. So hey, one thing I got for Christmas, you'd appreciate this, Lionel. You're old like me. Oh wait, actually you can't skip. My kids got me the Oregon Trail card game, the tabletop card game. Do you remember the Oregon Trail from school where everybody where everybody died of dysentery?
Yep.
So we tried to play it, and I died in the first 30 seconds of dysentery. I said, yep, this is just like the game that I used to play.
I logged so many hours playing that useless game. It was like, I'm going to make it. Oh, yeah. Hey, Harry's in the chat, and he says hi.
Okay.
I don't know if you're checking the chat or not.
I don't know how to. I'm barely getting by on the internet that I have. So, yeah, Harry. I want to get Harry back in the game because he's still.
Say, we need to get some cameos back of some of the original cast.
I 100% agree. All those people have to do is talk to me, and I will work them in. And I have a ton of ideas, especially for Harry. But, he's currently on a captain's ship. So, are we all back? We good? All right, Lloyd. Good. All righty. Welcome back, everybody. Again, sorry for the video thing, but if my voice is good and it's not good when it's the video's on, you're just gonna have to listen to my dulcet tones and not my pretty face. That's okay, because I ain't that pretty. Just prettier than. Well, never mind. We won't go there. Marquise. Okay, so let's get back into this then. So, is there anything you guys want to do or say or discuss before you get taken down these tunnels to where this old tech is? Is there anything you want to say within each other? Converse, talk, discuss, plan, whatever.
I think Nardo would have a conversation away from Andra because he wouldn't want her to hear it. So as we're walking along, maybe we drag a little bit behind and you kind of tap Dorn's shoulder to let him know, kind of fall back a bit. And he would kind of lean into him and say, anyway, however this plays out, we need to get off this fucking planet, even if it means these people have to. And he doesn't finish it, but
What is your position?
it's implied strongly. Even as these people die.
Yeah, in the corner.
I'm with you. I mean, hopefully this works, but if we get there and the mining equipment is ruined and it's not possible, then we find a ship and we get out of here. Like, I'm not dying for a cause.
Press
And in a rare moment,
this.
right when you say that,
Oh,
he remembers
do
the
this.
pacts and he says,
What is that? Okay.
I got a plan B.
Okay, there. You did it.
And he doesn't say any more on it. He just kind of just
What's my
looks
social
straight
life?
ahead and starts walking behind these men.
I am.
And again, these tunnels are pretty well empty. I mean, these are very heavily traveled tunnels with the, quote unquote resistance people. There's not really anything that you run into. After the ups and downs and the twists and turns, it probably takes about 2 hours to get there. And what you guys find is just dilapidated, rusted mining platforms. One of them is still standing. One of them has a still like a ladder that you can walk up one of its legs, but it looks like it's kind of resting against sort of a mountain on the edge of the settlement. It doesn't look like it's holding its own weight, and you have one that's completely on its side. And these things are huge. These things are literally probably 250 feet tall. They're probably 100 feet, circle as far as the main platform. Each of them has 4 legs. And Nardo, you would know that the basic thing. These things are probably 20 years old. They're really outdated technology. There's better lasers, there's better power sources and all this stuff. And it looks like these things haven't been touched in a decade.
So Nardo would just frown. Then he would look over to Dorn.
Did it 1v1.
What do you think?
I wish that we had Cepheus with us. He looks at the huge machine. It's worth a go. See if we can get to the control center and see if we can move it.
And over here in this, one of the people, one of the companions that you're with Resistance, he kind of looks over at the youngest member with the smallest member, probably looks 15 or 16. And he just kind of pokes him on the arm. He says, "Hey, you need somebody that can handle all this technology. This kid will do it. He can fix anything." And the kid just kind of blushes, and his cheeks kind of go red, even more so than with the cold. He says, "Yeah, I can fix most things. Nothing ever this big, but I can fix things."
Good. We're gonna need you, kid.
Okay. I'll do what I can, but don't we need to go underground? Aren't they gonna? I don't want to be up here too long. What are we trying to do?
We're going to make sure that they don't blow up this planet.
Well, we need to get before we need to, does this thing even have power? We need to check the batteries. We need to see if we can even turn this thing on.
Then let's do that. Lead the way.
Well, and he just kind of looks around. He looks a little bit confused and very unsure of himself. But do me a favor. Why don't you guys give me a technology roll for him? Lloyd, why don't you give it to me? Add +2 to it.
It's a natural 20. So 22. Oh my gosh.
Wow. This
First roll of the day.
This kid does that, and he seems so unsure. And after you're like, okay, basically lead the way, he kind of closes his eyes, and you see him kind of take a deep breath. He's like, yeah, okay, great. It's over here. And it's almost like he has this sudden just rush of confidence that something came to him and he knows exactly where to go. And he takes you. Are you guys going to want to check out the one that's sitting on its side or the one that's kind of leaning? Because they're both within 100 feet of each other. One of them standing up and kind of leaning against basically a mountain, or the one that is laying on its side. Which one would you like to check out?
Probably the one on its side would be easier to flip upward.
Okay.
So actually, no, I don't think so. I think maybe the one that's leaning. So then we can, like, if we can just, because it's going to sound really like Star Trek-y, but if we could just like invert the power thingy, you know, so it doesn't shoot down, it shoots up. Maybe the kids can do that, and then we won't have to like turn it upside down. You know. Good
point. Yeah.
Okay, so with that, he takes you guys through the snow. It's very heavy snow. There's probably 2 feet of new powder on there, so it's a little bit heavy going. Probably takes you another 5 or 10 minutes to get over there. You get to the leg of this thing, and you notice that this leg is probably, again, 10 feet around. These are very large, sturdy things, and you see that within the center of this kind of a appendage, you see stairs, and the kid starts to climb up. Again, with that confidence, he's leading the way, and the 2 others go with him, and they continue to go up into the basically center kind of circular part of this mining platform. Would you guys follow?
Is that you?
I actually think Nardo would probably stop the kid before he started climbing up this ladder or stairs. And he'd say, "Better let me go first, kid." And he would pull the cart, probably this. Let me see, scattergun. He'd pull it around and start heading up, having it hanging from his shoulder just in case he's got to swing it and use it.
Okay. Sorry, cough. And as you guys go up, I'm sorry, Lionel, were you going to stay in the front or in the rear?
In the front. I figured maybe Dorn would bring up the rear.
I need the weapons that I know.
Maybe one of the other guys.
And Dorn, how long would you wait down there before you follow? Would you be right with him, or would you hang out for a while?
He'd probably take a moment the first time he's been alone in like a long time to just like try and gather himself and like go through a short meditation, like a minute or something. He would just like close his eyes and begin to control his breathing and stuff. He thinks he's going to need to use a lot of Astra here to like power this thing. That's even possible. So he's like trying to do preparations for that. He would just like wait, and then he would realize he's been waiting quite a long time, and he would like zip up the stairs after them.
Okay. And in that minute, do me a favor, roll me a straight D20, Lloyd.
16.
Lucky. You as you're sitting there, you see in the distance, because this is probably, I don't know, 300-400 yards from the edge of the settlement. Obviously, this is a new area of the settlement. They're slowly, kind of growing it out. You notice 3 AIC troopers coming towards you. Now, they haven't seen you, and they haven't seen you guys are climbing the thing, but they are coming towards you. And just as you're beginning to climb up, you notice this. Would you do anything or say anything, or would you walk these stairs that are inside the leg of this thing? You would be in complete cover if you go up these stairs, but they are coming out there.
We have a whisper link right between us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would just say we have company inbound. 3 polite gentlemen on their way to say hello.
And Nardo, how would you react to that?
So Nardo would hear that come across the whisper link. He would turn to the kid. He wouldn't say anything to him about it. He'd say, "All right, kid, you keep going up. I'll meet you up there." And then he would look past him to Andre, and he'd say, "Andra, keep the kid safe." And he would make his way back down towards Dorn.
Okay. Since you can do that. And Dorn, would you... I'm sorry, Andra, go ahead.
Nothing. I'll just say right and head up with the kid.
Okay.
Let Nardo pass me.
So as the 3 resistance fighters as well as Andra continue up, Nardo, you get down there. Dorn, would you stay down there? Would you? I mean, what do you guys want to do? If as Nardo joins you down there, and these guys are probably 200 yards away now, just kind of trudging through the snow. They still have not been spotted, but you probably will pretty soon if you stay in the same place. So what do you guys want to do?
Dorn's like instinct is to take them out. I mean, maybe they won't see us and just report that there's nothing here. But if they do and they report it, then we're in big, big trouble. So we're mostly hidden in the leg, but he would kind of like make his way down a little bit. And he would he would just wait there for Nardo.
Okay. And Nardo, as you join him, and by the way, Dorn, how far up the leg are you? Because the kind of the stairs start about 5 feet up, and that's kind of open. But then there's little slits and stuff in the leg. So if somebody's really looking, they could certainly see you, but not without knowing that you're there. Would they probably do that? They'd roll with disadvantage on it. But Nardo, once you joined Dorn, say 10, 15 feet up the ladder there, what would you say to him? What would you guys want to do?
So one of the things Nardo would say is, all right, keep an eye on these guys. They get close. Looks like they see us. We take them out. Take them out quick.
Agreed. I'll try and fry their communicators before they can make a...
That's what I was gonna ask. You have any way to stop them from communicating? And it's at this point that I would be missing freaking Cepheus, because he probably would have a way that he could jam their communicators without them knowing.
Okay. So how far up this ladder are you guys going to stay? That's what I need to know.
So it would be, I would need a field of fire. So I would want to have a place that would give Nardo the widest range of fire. If you ever, Drake. Yeah. So that's what so if I have to go down a little bit, he's going to go down a little bit.
Well, I mean, it's pretty much the same. It's probably 5 foot in diameter all the way around here. And it's basically a straight tunnel straight down. So unless you're going to put the rifle through one of the slits in the legs or something like that going out, but of course it would be very limited as far as your range. You can basically shoot straight down, and that's it where you are. If you want a bigger range of fire, you would need to get out of the.
So this is what Nardo's thinking. He doesn't say this out loud. He's just going to watch that tunnel down below, the opening into the stairway.
Okay.
His role really is to protect Dorn. He's seen Dorn in action. He knows Dorn will take care of the rest.
Okay. And Dorn, what about you? Would you just be staying there and watching them?
Yeah, I'm trying to stay in a section where they won't see me unless they're really looking for me, So I'm trying to stay hidden and hopefully they'll just pass by. But if they don't, I want to be in a place where I can drop. So maybe I'm 10 feet up, where I can drop onto the ground and just start spewing magic at them. You said there's pretty thick snow and stuff, right? So I could drop without hurting myself. Yeah.
Yeah, 3 feet in some areas. And up against the leg, there's actually a few drifts.
Okay,
so you'll be able to drop down into it and be fine. So what I'm going to do here, I got to make myself a roll. Hold on. Okay. So as these guys get closer, 2 of them begin to break off and head towards the leg that you're standing in. The other one, the final one, looks to be standing, probably 200 feet away. And it's funny, the 2 that come towards you, they almost park themselves directly beneath you. They're not looking up. They haven't noticed you. They failed their perception roll. And both of them, you hear just kind of talking about random stuff and, what's going on. And I hope this is done. I got to get home to the kids and, and the wife, and just typical chit chat that troopers or soldiers would have. And you see them both kind of open their masks. They have full headgear on. They kind of open the mask. It kind of, slides back to the top of their head. And they both begin to light up cigarettes. And they're standing beneath you, probably 10 feet away. And Nardo and Dorn, you guys are directly above them. And as I said, the other just hanging out.
You broke up at the end there. I didn't hear the last part.
No, basically the two are just standing beneath you. They're basically smoking cigarettes, just shooting the shit, talking.
So
Okay, I see him.
So Nardo's gonna like peek out through one of those little slits, and if can he see the guy that's 200 feet away?
Absolutely.
Does he have line of sight on the two guys that are below us?
Oh, jeez.
Does the guy 200 feet away?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Nardo's gonna go like this, and to the two guys below with Dorn, and he's gonna say,
He's by the tank.
like, kind of would drop down, take them out.
Dorn would look at you and
Unless
do
he
like
has some other way.
he would just like shake his head, like
Man, you're trying to wallbang him.
they're just standing there. He would just be like, just giving you
wait.
this like shush motion and just wait.
Okay.
Okay. So you guys are just going to wait him out?
Yeah, like in Dorn's mind, it's better that they come here and there's nothing here and they go back than troopers come out here and then they don't come back, because that's like a really clear message of something out here.
Okay. Nardo, tell me this. Has the packs? Do you still have the packs that you were given, the AIC packs? Are you still holding them?
Yeah, Nardo would have one of them, and the other he would probably have given to,
See.
I guess it would be Dorn,
Okay.
Oh, you can't use
because
that.
he has the other Whisper Link.
'Cause then even though
But
we
Nardo's
were-
pack would have the radio in it, the old
Okay.
style radio.
So one of them, after probably 5 minutes, one of them the one far away begins to turn and just kind of motions for the other two to come back. And one of them does so. The one that's furthest away turns around facing the settlement, begins to walk towards it. One of the two beneath you begins to do the same thing. And as he walks away, the final one that's still standing goes, yeah, I'll be with you after I finish this. And he's sitting there smoking a cigarette. Think like Lloyd. He's just smoking a cigarette. And so both of them go out of line of sight. And the one remains now. And that's it.
So Dorn again, like he knows that Nardo's impatient and he wants to deal with the situation. He just looks at him and he just gives him this like, wait sort of look.
Okay, Lloyd, give me a stealth check. Because as you're moving, if you're making motions, there's a chance that you could make some noise with your hands. So give me a stealth check, please. DC 12.
I got an 11.
So as you kind of take your hands and you wave them like that, the backpack that Nardo gave you that has these symbols that are metal, it actually clangs against one of the things very subtly. And as this trooper looks up with the cigarette in his mouth, you can see his eyes get really wide. Roll for initiative. Philip, don't worry. We'll get back to you in a second. Jesus, Dorn.
I'm not afraid.
One good die roll.
All right, well, you guys, it goes Dorn, then it goes Nardo, then it goes him. So Dorn, what do you want to do?
I'm going to like look at his helmet and I'm going to think his Whisper Link must be in there. I need to stop that. I'm going to reach out and like Red Astra's going to like appear around my hand and it's going to like onto the helmet and I'm going to cast Chrono Burn on it, which like damages the equipment. Choose a single weapon or suit of armor that you can see within range, and immediately gains the worn condition. If it's already worn, it becomes malfunctioning. So that's what I'm going to do. Hopefully, just like stop his Whisperling from working.
Is there a DC on that? You have to.
That's a good question.
Do I have to roll for it, or is it just all of a sudden there? Because I
just happens.
don't think I've had somebody do chrono burn on a person.
It just happens. You choose the suit of armor or the weapon. So I guess it's the suit of armor. It becomes worn.
Okay.
If it's not worn already, it becomes malfunctioning.
So with that, you see. Yeah, tell me, what does this look like on his brand new shiny helmet? What does this look like, Lloyd?
It's like a time lapse video of the helmet, and it just like you can see like dents and scratches begin to appear, and like things kind of start to warp and move as if time has like passed, 100 years in half a second or whatever. It just goes and it just like starts to look old and worn and a bit battered, very, very suddenly.
Okay, absolutely. Let me see. You have not stopped his Whisperling from working completely. It is not completely out, but as he looks up, he does say, he says, I found them, help, I've found them. But coming through, just due to you casting that, all they get is I found. And then it kind of cuts out and it's just static. They get every third or fourth syllable, so they're not really understanding everything, but they do hear them. Nardo.
Yeah.
So Nardo, just as, and maybe Nardo kind of creates some of that sound too. Because he had set his rifle aside and he was just about to reach into the pack. And it kind of clinks on the stairs. And so once he sees Dorn go into action, he reaches behind his belt and it's just this little handle and he flicks it. And there's like this hum as this collapsible sword extends and he just drops down on this guy. Hopefully to kill him.
Okay, roll with advantage. AC is 14.
Yeah, actually, one of my features is if someone hasn't attacked yet, I have advantage anyways. So yeah, I definitely hit. And what is the damage on a collapsible sword? For some reason, I didn't put the stat on it.
I want to say it's just like 1d8 or 1d6.
Okay.
And
with your permission, as he's dropping, could he channel some red Astra through the sword?
That's part of being a treader. Go for it.
All right. So that's going to be
10
points of slashing damage.
And where does it hit? Does the sword sink in? Do you just slash him, or do you just try to impale him?
Yeah. So he's falling, and as he's falling, he's trying to like stay
right.
adjusted to the guy, and he drops down. Oh, and I got to do my Astra damage. Yes, I got that. So yeah, it's 10 damage with the Astra. And so yeah, he just drives it down. And it's one of those things where he's got both of his hands on the weapon and he just kind of drives his shoulder down. And so it like hits him on just above his left clavicle. And it just kind of drives down in on that. So he's trying to take him down into the snow.
And I think you would. I think just your body weight and the sword coming down, it would absolutely do that. And you would, after a moment, his visor is still up. You can see, you can see it in his face, just fear, and he begins to, cough, and blood is coming kind of out of his mouth, and he's like, "I've found," and he can't really get it out, and he goes to kind of push you off, and I need you to make a strength roll for me.
Oh, actually, Nardo can make a second attack.
Yes.
So as he's saying that, Nardo kind of wrenches this sword free, and he's trying to finish, and Nardo just is hopefully going to finish him off.
If you hit, you finish him. So you let me know.
So it's just like he just rips the sword out, and then he just kind of uses his body weight, and he just presses it down through the man's just below, where the at the base of the throat. He just drives it down, and because he wants to stop any kind of sound.
and you just hear
No.
Okay.
as this guy, and in that pristine white snow, you see just blood, just kind of coming out of his mouth and just reddening the snow to the side of him.
The helmet, give me the helmet.
Yeah.
If
He pull,
you
as
kill
you're
me, that
you're
would
totally
be
reading my
more
mind,
awesome.
Lloyd. Love it. He rips the helmet off and he tosses it up to
Okay.
Dorn. And he starts dragging the body and kicking snow
No,
over
I
because he
cannot
probably
wait
thinks
to
the other
see
guys are
that.
going to come because of that missed message. Well, he doesn't know there's a missed message. For all he knows, the guy got a message off.
Okay.
Yeah. Dorn's gonna put the helmet on and say, and he's just like making it like the helmet doesn't work, and then he's gonna basically go finishing up a piss, and I'll be over.
And Dorn, you'd hear him go, you would hear him reply, "Will you just get over here? We got things to do. We got to get out of here. We just stop screwing around."
2 minutes.
Okay, absolutely. And so with that, I'm assuming that you guys are going to go back up the leg. Yes. Or are you going to stay down there?
We can't leave those troopers here.
Yeah, I think we got to take care of that threat.
Yep.
So maybe if I don't know your plan yet, so if you let
Yeah.
Nardo know, maybe I'll start stripping down this guy, put on
Plan.
use the snow and just kind of wipe off as much of the blood as I can and
Center.
throw the uniform on.
Center or left? Between. Center and left.
Yep, that was my plan. Is one of us dresses up and the other one tries to sneak, and then we just try and take those out by surprise.
I think you're more deadly from distance than I am because I only have the rifle, and that'll make noise. Yeah, so let's do that.
Okay. So tell me what your plan is, guys.
So I'm going to throw on that trooper's uniform, and
So you're going to strip down in the snow.
Yep.
On off.
Yep.
Change your clothes.
Well, I'll probably go up into the stairway to do it.
Okay. Well, there's no stairway. It's a ladder. But if you want to,
Ladder.
if you want to make me an acrobatics check, you can see if you can change your clothes while on a ladder. Sure.
What the hell? I'll try it.
Okay. Go for it. DC 14.
Oh shit! You should never tell me the odds. No.
It's good.
He tries. He starts to do that, and he's just the ladder
cheater.
themselves are too icy. So he's gonna have to.
So I
stick
imagine
around.
you got your pants around your ankles, and you slip, and you fall bare ass into the snow. And I would imagine Dorn would be looking at this like, Jesus, come on, just fix it.
Yeah, just like pinching the bridge of his nose, like, come the fuck on.
So as I give you guys a few minutes for Nardo to get dressed and put that plan, we're going to pan back up to Andra and these other three. Andra, you get into the kind of control center of this thing. There's no power. These controls are much older than anything that you've seen. This is not AIC modern technology that you're used to. This is old school stuff. There's a lot of more like the fly-by-wire type stuff to move. You have 4 different handles for legs. You can see that 2 of the handles are pulled down. And give me a technology roll, Andra.
That is 21.
Okay. So you can kind of figure out from just your technology background that these 4 levers have to be pulled in order to move this thing, that the left legs are pulled down. That means that they're not holding any tension. That's where this thing is leaning to the left side. Okay. So in order to move this, you would really need 2 people. Okay. Like each one holding one thing. And it would move just like 4 legs. You see the wiring in this thing. A lot of it has been pulled out, has been stripped. You see frayed wiring on the control panels. You see, cracked glass or plexiglass around this. You see just several seats, 7 or 8 seats in here. Where this is probably where the miners controlled everything. And this kid goes right to the center, and he opens up a panel, and you just hear him, okay. And you hear like, and you see some sparks, and the lights in this thing flicker. Just the overhead lights in the panels begin to slowly come on, different colors of oranges and greens and everything like that. And as to these consoles, you hear and you see this flashing red light, and all it says is alarm.
Oh no, what's that?
On
What
it.
have you done? What's going on?
We're not. The little kid just look. We're not stable. It's the. We need to go. We need to stand upright. It won't fire unless it's
Okay.
upright. We need to hold this. This is just up here. We haven't powered the system yet. I just got the power to the control room here. We need something a lot bigger.
Okay, well, I think those levers over there control the legs. Maybe we can have 2 of these guys control them and stand us upright so this alarm stops going off. But did Andra knows that there are guys down there too.
She knows that guys are down there, but she doesn't know what's happened. No.
Okay. I kind of don't want to. Actually, it doesn't matter. Time is of the essence. We're going to go ahead and get this thing walking. Maybe it'll scare the soldiers off or something. So I want to go over to the levers and pull 2 of the 3 guys over and try to explain to them how to work these to stand upright.
Okay, let's see how good you are at this. Let's do a persuasion, because we'll see if you can persuade them to believe you.
4.
Yeah, they don't want to do it. They think you're crazy. They're like, this thing, if we try to stand this up thing, we're all going to die. We're going to fall over. They don't want to touch it, buddy.
Fine. Here, just let me do it. I'll take the 2 legs that are in the downward position so that they're like, and then I want to slowly move both of them up.
Okay. And all of you, Andra, the people in the control center, also Nardo and Dorn, you guys hear this kind of screeching metal, just metal on metal, rust moving. You can see the rust falling off of these parts, into the snow. That white pristine snow just getting covered in brown and black bits, and you can hear just this deafening metal on metal scraping as the mining platform begins to sit upright. And it was a slow thing. It probably took about a minute for it to happen, just with all the fly-by-wire, everything's so cold. But you did straighten out that platform, Andra, and now that red alarm button has gone off. And seeing that you did that, and the people are now, the men up there are more apt to help you now with what you can do. So the power has been restored to the control center. And what would you be saying to this kid that got everything going? Would you say anything to him, or tell him the plan? Or what you want to do?
Yeah, so then I'll say to the 2 guys who wouldn't do anything, here, now hold these levers still and make sure this thing doesn't move. And then I'll go over to the kid and say, all right, so we need to see if we can get this drill working, but we want to be able to turn it upside down. and fire it in the air. Do you think we can do that?
Safety. We can't. What are you trying to hit? Up in the air. Are you trying to hit
What
that
do you
ship?
think? Yeah.
In order to do that, we would need to, if you wanted to, the laser shoots down from the bottom of this platform. It doesn't shoot up. There's no way to do that. The only way to do that would be to disable all the safety protocols and knock it on its side and try to aim it. We would have to push the thing over, and we would only get one shot. If it wasn't the right angle, we couldn't. You're talking about a 1 in a million. I mean, we can't shoot up. What you're asking is almost impossible.
Almost isn't impossible. And that's what we're going to do. Do you think we can try to control these levers so that it collapses in such a way that when it falls, it'll be inverted?
And he thinks, and he's like, it's ridiculous. It's crazy, but I suppose it's possible.
Can you override the safety protocols necessary if we get it flipped upside down?
Yeah, I can override anything, but how do we know how to? Wait, first things first here. We need power for this laser. We need Astra energy. We need Astra crystals powered up to do this. That's how these things work. This is old stuff. That's what they were mining here. These things are depleted. Maybe if we found a way to link both of them together, maybe there would be enough power for one shot, maybe for maybe 3 seconds. I don't know. This is ancient stuff to me. This is before I was born. I mean, do you have a way? Do you have wires that we could link them together?
Well, I think let's try to walk this one over to that one.
Okay. And he kind of looks, and he was like,
and then we'll scrap the other one, the one that's already on the ground. We'll try to flip over and see if we can fire that one.
You have this grand plan, but it's the how. You're really good on the why, and you're really good on the what, but the how is a problem.
Look, kid, what's your name?
My name's John.
Look, John.
Or Jonathan.
Jonathan. We have one opportunity right now to save all of these people and everything. There's not enough time to dig down, try to get the whole city to evacuate. We have to take out this ship. It's the only chance we have, and we need you to do it. I can tell these guys what to do, but
I'm 15. I don't. This is a lot. Just I can fix things. Yes, I'm good at fixing things. I'm not a hero. I'm not a savior. I'll do what I can do.
No one's a hero. No one's a savior. You just are people doing what we need to do when we need to do them. Right now, this is your job, Jonathan, and I need you to do your job. You're a hard worker.
But if we move this thing, they're going to know we're here.
They already know we're here. We stood it up.
And he kind of...
Andre's going to be like raising her voice, and you can see like red Astra crackling in her eyes. She wants to intimidate this guy.
Okay. DC 10.
Shit, that one. God, I want Andra to be so badass, but she's such a little bitch.
So he realizes, he's like, he looks at you, he's like, you sound like my mother. He's like, look, I'll get me over there. We'll see what we can do, but don't use that mom voice anymore. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, Andra's trying to be all big, bad, and scary, but her voice audibly cracks, and the Red Astra is really just some bloodshot eyes because she's about to cry, and terrible intimidation.
You need to get some better dice, dude.
And hey, they're the ones that you got me, so but yeah, she'll go over, kind of like turn around, wipe her eyes, go over to the guys. All right, we need to try to walk this thing over to that other one. Can we see the other one outside?
Absolutely. It's laying on its side, probably 100 feet away. It would only take you one good step to get there. I mean, this thing is huge. It only take you one good step, and you can either take 2 steps and be completely over it, or take 1 step and just be right to the side.
We're going to want to take 2 steps to be completely over it.
Okay. What I need from you is 2 rolls. Okay.
Okay.
DC 10. I need to know if you succeed on both.
First one is an 18.
Okay. Then the first step is successful without incident.
Cool. I'm like coaching these guys which levers to pull, how fast. Second one is a 19.
Okay. So you successfully get directly over this thing. Now, with that, as you're moving, Dorn, Nardo, you are now in that uniform. You see the legs moving. Obviously, I think you're going to need to get out of the way. But one thing that you notice as this thing starts to move, because it's slow, it probably takes a solid minute for it to take 1 step. Okay. With this thing moving, you see those 2 troopers coming back. In the distance, they haven't noticed you yet, though. Nardo, Dorn, what do you guys want to do?
I'm in the helmet and I'm going, it's moving! Moving! Button, I don't... And I'm just like trying to give this like panicked explanation as if I've like accidentally pressed something and now it's moving. While I myself am trying to like move towards them at speed.
Okay, so you are wearing your clothes, but you're wearing the helmet. And Nardo is in the trooper uniform, but no helmet. Is that correct? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you dropped me. You're going to throw me the helmet. So
yeah, I can give you the
probably-
helmet.
That would be weird.
Yeah, so maybe after you yell that message, you drop the helmet onto me, and that's when Nardo slaps it on. And I would just kind of move off to the side, like I'll just pick. What kind of weapon did this guy carry? Just a carbine?
Yeah, just a regular rifle.
Yeah, so I would just take that, and I would collapse the sword and put it back on the belt, and I would just move off to the side of where this thing is, kind of to fit the narrative that Dorn just gave. But I'm moving kind of in an angle towards these guys.
And Dorn, what are you going to be doing while he's moving on this angle? Because
yeah, I'm going to be trying to move. Like obviously, if he's running one direction, they're probably going to look at him first, and I'm going to try and move the other way around the inside of the leg, maybe. Hopefully, they'll like already be like, "What the fuck is he doing over there?" and not see me running around.
Okay, so the inside of which leg? The one that's moving, or the one that's on the ground on its side?
So we were like at a leg, right? And I'm thinking,
yes.
So I'm thinking that like Dorn runs out the way they came towards the place, and I run the other direction, like around the leg.
Okay, because the leg's moving. The actual whole mining platform is moving.
Okay, so this leg is moving. Then I won't do that because that sounds suicidal. I'm going to just follow him very slowly.
Okay. So as you get closer, Now, tell me this. He is in this uniform. Are you standing in front of him? Are you standing to the side? Or are you standing behind? Nardo. As he's going towards these troopers, where are you standing in relationship to him? And how close?
I would be like quite a bit behind him, trying basically not to be seen.
Okay, so you want to do you want to try to like bury yourself in the snow or what? Or do you just want to, because it's pretty flat.
It's true, yeah, and I'm definitely not wearing white. Yep, I will just stay where I am for now. Like I'll like hunker down in the snow and try and be hidden until he gets close.
Okay, give me a stealth check, please, or stealth roll.
It's a 12.
Okay, so most of you is obscured with snow. I imagine you just keep a little bit of your eyes visible, but there's enough snow you can kind of do that. So, Nardo, as you get closer to these people, these troopers, you're probably 50 feet away now. I'm assuming that you kind of stayed where you are and they're coming in. I figure, Lloyd, you're probably, what, 20, 30 feet behind them? Something like that?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay. So they get, I don't know, 20, 30 feet from you, Lionel, and you hear, Trooper, what's going on? What did you do? You hear that in the whisper link. You're muted, dude. Can anyone else hear Lionel?
No, he's muted.
I was muted. Sorry, my bad. I just wasted. That was my best part of this game. So he just kind of shrugs and shaking his head like he doesn't know as he's looks over at that thing and back at them. And then he kind of stop for a second, and then he would point off in the snow to the guy. So he would do like one of these things. And then you point to the snow, saying, I think I see something over there.
And are you pointing at Lloyd? You're
No.
Pointing the opposite way?
I'm pointing at maybe one of the other legs were.
Okay.
So when I see him do that, that's when I'll stand up and like summon hell on them.
Yes.
Okay. I'll give you guys a surprise round since they're looking over it where he was pointing. So, Dorn, you absolutely get a surprise round, and then Lionel, you'll be able to do it too.
Awesome. I'm going to cast Static Field on them, so both of them, are they within 10 feet of each other?
Yes.
Okay, they'll need to make a deck save, and the DC is 14. No, sorry, it's actually 15.
First one failed, second one failed. They both get hit.
Oh my goodness. Okay, then they're going to take just a whole bunch of damage.
Well, they only have 20 hit points, so if it's more than that, you can describe it.
It's 21. It's 5d8 that I rolled.
So describe what this looks like when you cast this static field and it basically fries these guys.
Yeah, so they kind of like follow Nardo's like look, and they look in that direction, and there's like this smell in the air for a second of like ozone or like something, and you can see like bits of the snow start to like melt and like rise up in the air, and then there's just this like crazy electric field that appears out of nowhere, and it like burns a perfect circle in the snow. And when like the steam finally like goes away, you can see that they're just like fried on the ground where the snow once was.
Okay. And obviously with having that static field and the electrical charge pretty much fried their whisper links and any type of communication. So that's it. You guys did that. So the troopers in this area have been eliminated. So Nardo and Dorn, you guys see this platform moving and is now perched perfectly centered over this other one that is laying on its side. Would you guys go up and join Andra? Would you stay where you are? What would you do from here?
I think we would just scan the scene, like you said, is fairly flat, so we'd be likely to see others. Is there any sort of like binoculars or anything that these guys carry with them?
In your packs, you have two of those copper kind of tinted glasses.
Oh, okay.
You know that these are These are basically goggles, but they do have the ability. So if you put one of those on from your pack, you would know that you would be able to see further with those.
Okay, cool. So that's what Nardo do. He'd flip the visor up on the helmet, and he would put these goggles on. He wouldn't actually take the helmet off, put the goggles. He would just put the goggles up to his eyes, and he would just, it'd be like one of those, like, you know, like Star Wars, like, and he would start scanning the horizon. He was just going to look to see if there's any other signs of threat, and if he doesn't see any, then yeah, he would start moving towards the leg of the machine.
Okay, and Dorn, what would you be doing?
I'd get on the whisper link to Andra and ask her where she wants us. We dealt with a problem down here. Where do you want us up in the where you are, or in the other one?
She'll say, yeah, the kid says that we can't flip this thing upside down, so we'll have to try to link the two together and power one of the other ones. I figured we should probably set this one down as close to the other one as we can, and then we can try to run some wires over. So I'm just going to try to set this thing down as gently as we can.
All right, kid knows best, I guess.
And so with that, Lionel, give me a perception roll, please.
My perception is not that great. It is a 9.
Okay. You see, as you zoom in, you see a lot of probably 100 AIC troops in small bands of probably 3 to 5 kind of patrolling the settlement. You see them kind of, you know, roughing up the kind of the refugees there, you know, kind of, you know, smacking them around, playing basically the role like Imperial stormtroopers. If you think they're just kind of clearing out the streets, going like house to house, looking for you guys. And the other thing that you notice is just you don't know what it is, but you see something behind the AIC ship, behind the Kronos. From your angle, though, you can't see what exactly it is. But Andre, give me a perception roll, please.
Four.
You don't know what it is either. Dorn, give me a perception roll, please.
11.
Okay, it was only a DC of 10, guys. Dorn, from where you are, you just see just a very small bit of something that you recognize. Behind kind of where you guys are, you see a green beam. It looks, you know this to be more of like a tractor beam or like a magnetic beam that's used to tow ships. You see the front part of the ship that you came from that is being towed by the Kronos.
Okay, yep.
Okay, so it would just be something in passing. You just saw a glimpse. If you wanted to tell your companions about that, you can, but you were the only one who saw that.
I think it might discourage them from going through with the plan, so I'm not going to tell them.
Okay. So, Dorn and Nardo, are you guys, what are you doing? Are you going up? Are you staying where you are? What's the deal? Now that you see that there's nothing coming your way right now.
I'm going to go into the... Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say Nardo is going to follow through with what his plan was, which is to head to the leg and start climbing up.
Okay. Dorn, you do the same thing?
I was going to go to the other one and try and get that powered up, since we need that as well, right? That's what Opal said.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so Nardo, you can walk up that, no problem. Takes you probably another 5-10 minutes
Actually,
to get
I'm
up
going
there.
to retcon that. If Dorn is going to head to the old one, the leaning one, then I'll head there so that he's not all by himself.
The one he's heading to is flat on its side on the ground. The leaning one was... Okay.
Yeah, that's the one. That's what I meant. Sorry.
Okay. So as you guys go there, again, it's on its side. Everything's kind of, you know, think about a room completely flipped on its side. All the controls and everything are the same way. It's been stripped. There's, kind of haphazardly wires torn. It's kind of the same thing. But we're going to leave you guys there for a minute. We're going to go back to Andra. Andra, you have successfully moved this platform where you wanted. What would you like to do now? What would you say to your helpers there, and what do you want to do?
Great work, everybody. Now, hopefully, we need to try to set this thing down right next to the other one so that we can link them together. So, actually, does it seem like we can put this one and like hover it right above with the legs, or does it look like it's either like fully standing or all the way down? Like it's adjustable.
Think about it like, the platform can drop down as close as 50 feet to the ground.
Okay.
So it can take a wide stance and go all the way down to kind of crouch down up about 50 feet. So it could do that, absolutely.
Okay, that's what we're going to try to do. We want to get it down to about 50 feet so that it's kind of like above the other one.
Now, when you say this, you notice that Jonathan looks a little bit puzzled and concerned, and he's got his hand kind of on his chin. It's just barely got a couple of hairs on his chin. He's just coming into his own, but he's like, you want to shoot that ship, right? You want to shoot the ship with this thing, right?
Yeah.
Well, the ship is over there, and the thing you want to shoot is facing the other way. We need to point it that way. If we put this thing down, how are we going to shoot it? We need to move it. Right?
We need to move this one to underneath. I thought we were going to shoot the other one.
Well, yeah, but we have to aim the other one. We have to move it. It's pointing towards the settlement.
We'll have to move it. We can't flip this one upside down. I guess we could try to move it with this.
Well, you're the leg person. Use the legs and do something with it. I don't know how that works, but right now it's like we're going to shoot my house. I don't want to shoot my house.
All right. Sorry, Jonathan. Sorry. So that's that. We're going to try and use this robot to move the other one in the direction of the ship rather than the settlement, I guess.
So this has 4 legs sticking out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the other one has 4 legs basically horizontal. You have 4 legs vertical. Okay.
Yeah. So I imagine it's like, if the legs are down in a cluster, I want to try to like shuffle towards the legs and then start like pushing them so that the whole thing slides on the ground and rotates. Does that make sense?
It does. You need to give me a good roll though. Give me a technology roll. Yeah. It's got to be a DC 15, dude. That's a tough one.
Okay. Technology. All right. Well, I rolled a 19 and I have +3 intelligence.
Okay. So you get this thing, and I imagine like you just kind of edge it over, like you're just pushing it with the feet and you're just kind of dragging it as you go. And you stop at the point where it is pointed directly towards that ship, but the angle is flat.
Right.
It's not angled up enough, but it's pointed in the right direction.
Okay.
Okay. So, but with that though, Dorn, you and Nardo are in this thing as he starts walking and moving this thing. And I would assume that you might have something to say over Whisperlink as he's kicking your mining platform, basically.
Yeah, I think there's probably too much concern of being like knocked around the place and stuff. Like, we are literally in here.
Yeah, just secure yourselves. It'll be all right.
And Jonathan kind of looks at you and he says, you might want to say that to them before we started kicking it. But okay.
Those guys can handle themselves. It's okay.
So as I said, that's where you are right now. So we're gonna again pan down to Nardo and Dorn. So you guys are in this kind of control room. Dorn, do you want to try to power up the command area too?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a go.
All right, give me a technology roll, please. DC 13.
Can I assist him? Because, like you said, I know a little bit about this, not like the full schematics, but
Absolutely. DC 13, roll with advantage.
Okay, with advantage, best is a 14.
Okay, then you can absolutely again get the basic power up for the thing itself. Again, it's not enough to shoot the actual mining laser. It's just basic power. These things Nardo, are nuclear powered. That the actual control center and the goings on of the mining platform are powered through nuclear energy, but you know that the laser itself, the mining laser, is an Astra powered laser. Okay, so and nuclear energy, you're looking at a half-life of 10,000 years. So there's plenty of power for the controls, just not so much for the laser itself.
I wonder if we could do a thing where you could hook. It's kind of like if you think of like martial arts with takedowns and stuff. If you could hook one of the legs, if we could angle one of the legs for this one that's laying down, and you could use leverage from yours to like angle it up for the angle we need.
And by the way, guys, a few hours have passed at this point. We're probably getting up in the 10-hour mark left.
So I think we probably need to make sure we can actually power this laser before we go to that next step.
Yep. I mean, my plan for powering it was literally that me and Andra would just like channel until we are over-channeled near death, but just like put as much as we can into it.
Well, if it's red Astra, Nardo can help too. It's not a lot, but it's not the same force as yours.
Yes.
So tell me this, guys. Is there an Astra roll? I forget. I'm not looking at my sheet.
Yeah, there's a skill, yeah.
Lloyd, give me an Astra roll then, please. Actually, okay. Andra too. I need both of you guys to do it.
18.
Awesome. Andra?
6.
Lloyd, just for you've been around a while. You know that the old lasers, again, use Astra. It was Astra infused technology, but it was still new. And they found something on this planet that they called astrium. And they were crystals. They were gem-like structures that grew underground here. And they had the ability to store Astra energy. And it could be depleted, and then it's kind of like a battery, but it was a battery for Astra. And you know that these particular ones are that old, that it's probably something like that. That these crystals will be housed within the main, basically combustion chamber, for lack of a better phrase, inside, basically down from where you are in these lasers. But you would have felt if these batteries were charged. And the amount that these things could have held would be unbelievable, the amount of energy that they could hold. And that they could shoot out, obviously, going into the core of a planet. That that these were actually initially created, and Sept Grimar tried to see if they could use this technology 20 or 30 years ago as a planet killer, moon killer, that they could use these to destroy things. And you found that although they were somewhat effective, they never could perfect the usage. But you know how powerful it can be.
Okay. So I would say to Andra, you need to go down a level and see if there's a bunch of crystals there and see if they're glowing. You should be able to sense them. I don't know and he wouldn't go any further with the insults, but he would basically say, you should be able to sense them. Maybe you can't, maybe it's interfering or something, but you need to go down there and see if they're there. Nardo, get on the radio, talk to the resistance people, ask them if they know where any of these astrium crystals are. If they're underground, they might have some.
Yeah, Nardo would definitely bust out the radio and try to raise Jack on the radio.
Okay. And he'd say, hello? Hello?
Yeah, Jack, we don't have time for any fucking formality. Do you know anything about astrium crystals?
Well, yeah, that's what we do here. That's what the mining was for. They're
all right. Hey, we need to get our hands on some. Running out of time.
There's a storage facility in settlement, but it's crawling with them. I mean, we could get you some by dark, I'm sure, but I mean, the only place that they're stored is there, unless you want to mine it yourself. But we don't have time for that. What do we have? 10 hours left? You guys didn't figure this out yet?
It's fucking complicated. And he would have the volume up so that Dorn can hear Jack's response.
Get them now, or we're all dead.
I need what is it? It's probably around noon right now. He's like, let me see what I can do. Give me 8 hours.
You have 4.
I can get them to you. I'll see what I can do.
Don't make me come down there, Jack. You won't like it.
Nardo's a little. I imagine that Nardo's holding this transmitter, and Dorn just comes up and rips it out of his hand and just starts saying that stuff and tosses it back to him.
And you don't hear anything else. You just, the final thing he says is, "I'll see what I can do," and he gets out of there. Now, Andra, would you do what Dorn told you to do? Go check out for the crew.
So I do have AstraSense, so I should be able to tell or sense Astra and identify its source. So I should be able to tell where these Astra crystals are.
It's very, very faint. Very faint. But you can follow that sense, that feeling, about 20 feet down into the heart of this machine. And the little boy goes with you. Jonathan goes with you. And you come upon, it's almost like a sphere, but it's jagged. It's almost like these crystals with a faint blue color. Most of them are clear, but they have this blue kind of tinge to them. It looks like they've all grown out from a center point. It's this sphere of astrium crystal. And it exudes this blue Astra sensation. It's very strange. It's concentrated, but it's small. It's almost like the difference in getting punched in the face versus like somebody sticking a pin in your cheek. It's very concentrated. It still hurts, like you would feel it like that, but it would be very specific and very small. And I'm assuming that you would, maybe touch it or something like that. You would see kind of that blue Astra spark coming from your hand onto this ball, this sphere. And you would see it kind of sparkle a little bit of blue light here, a little blue light there, as if it was reacting to your touch. Would you say anything to Dorn?
I'll get Dorn on the comlink and say, all right, Dorn, I found the Astra crystals, but I don't know how much energy's left in them.
Okay, well, pour what you can into them.
All right. And I'll try to just like rub my hands together and yeah, I guess what kind of spell should I use? How about revitalize?
Okay. As you get you kind of rub your hands together, and I assume you're going to put them both on the crystal.
Yeah.
As you do, Jonathan grabs your hand and he says, "No. We don't have any way to control that yet. If we charge it up, where's it going to go? We're only going to have one shot at this. If you charge it now, it's going to shoot. We need to control it. When we're ready to shoot, you can try that. We need to get more crystal. If you do it now, I can't stop it from shooting."
Well, we're going to want the other one to shoot, so I thought maybe we need to get these crystals over to that other one, and I don't know, get this. We can maybe use this one to lift up the legs and aim it, and then take the Astra crystals, bring them to the other one, and shoot that one.
The more crystals we have, the stronger it'll be. I don't know. This ball, by the way, I didn't tell you. This ball is probably about the size of a beach ball. It's
Okay.
not really huge, and it doesn't even seem that, and it's just kind of hovering in there. So it's not really like a huge thing. But getting it down there would probably take some time, but you probably could. You could probably get it out of where it is, and because they have to be able to change them out.
Yeah.
So you could probably move it if you wanted. And this only powers the laser. So it wouldn't have anything to do with movement or anything like that.
Okay. So, yeah, I think what we need to do is try to get this one to and I'll get Dorn on the comm. I'll say, "All right, Dorn, Jonathan says we can't fire this one up until we're ready to fire the laser. I think we should bring this Astro Crystal down to yours, and we'll use this ship to pick up the legs of the other one and lift it up to aim it towards the ship."
Sounds
You
good.
think that'll work?
Bring all the crystals that you have there here. I guess we want to focus them all here.
Okay.
All right. So, yeah, I want to tell the guys working the legs to walk the machine straddling the laid down legs and then bring the platform down 50 feet.
Okay.
And then I want to try to get the crystal out and I guess tell Jonathan to come with me as we go down to Dorn's platform.
Yeah. And I think it probably takes you 3-4 hours to do all this. I mean, you would need to take a couple people, and you need to, roll it in the snow. I would imagine as you're rolling it through the snow, it becomes kind of a big snowball as you're rolling it, but as you do, it gets more and more, but eventually it'll kind of melt as you get in there. And Dorn, as you see this sphere, I mean, I'm assuming now you're in the crystal chamber as well. As you get these crystals together, they almost feel like they have this kind of a magnetic connection. And as you get close, they both just kind of smash together. And they don't merge into one big ball, but it's two separate balls. And with that, they still kind of hover there. And both of you feel almost an attraction or a pull to these crystals. It's something inside you. It's something that you want to be. Dorn, it's like when you held that worm, that feeling, that something about this place is just different. And even though Andra didn't feel that with the worm, Andra, you feel the same thing. It's this sense that you want to be here, that you want to be around them, sense of well-being. And unless there is something else that you guys want to do during this time,
I would just hassle Jack on the radio like every hour if he's not here yet. Just continue, like I don't want to let up. I want him to know that like we're counting on him. Like the whole world is counting on him to get those crystals to us.
And you have found, and you hear him. You know, there's troops. We're trying to get him to you. We've already lost 5 people. You know, he's making every excuse in the world. He's like, I told you 8 hours. I'm doing the best I can. And after that time, you do see a vehicle coming. And it's nighttime now. You see the lights of the ship above. You see the lights of the settlement from where you are. It's like looking at a city from a distance. And you see this vehicle coming. You see this kind of subtle blue glow coming from the back of it. And as it stops maybe 50 feet from where you guys are, you see Jack step out. And on the radio, he says, I'm the only one that made this out. Everyone else is dead. I have people to take care of now. This is what you wanted. Don't make me regret it. And you see him take the radio, and he looks up at you guys where you guys are. He takes the radio and he just drops it. Just drops it in the snow and just walks away.
Must be his first war, Dorn says to the others.
Nardo would just frown at that comment, but he would bust ass to that vehicle to get, and he's going to need help to get that the crystals.
Hey, real quick, guys. Lloyd, what is your astrofade limit?
My limit is 5.
Okay, and Andre, yours is 5 too, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
And I'm at 4.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't get a rest from the hatch from the last session, so I'm at 5 also.
Okay, so you're basically have none to go, and Lloyd, you have 1 to go. Okay. So yeah, you guys, the crystals that they bring, they're in broken pieces. You find. I'm assuming that you'll send some people out for them. It's probably equivalent to about 1 more sphere. But the difference in these spheres versus what you have, or these pieces, is that these are much brighter blue. They seem filled with much more energy. And Dorn and Andre, you would know this. And as they were brought in, again, that kind of magnetic attraction, they would all kind of go together. And you would see the spheres begin to get brighter and brighter. And Jonathan is looking, and he's looking at this meter in this in the chamber here, and he's looking at this power meter, and you see this meter goes from 0 to 100, and right now it's sitting at about 40%. And he looks at you and he says, it won't fire unless it's at 80. We can't shoot this thing.
We'll get it there.
How? We don't have any more crystal. How are we going to get it there?
Probably best that you leave the room.
It's time to let the heroes work now, Jonathan.
Oh. But, and he just kind of, he wants to say something, and he kind of opens his mouth and he's like, where do we go? Where do we go?
Get it ready. Aim the gun at the ship.
Okay. And so he and the other people go up. He goes, okay, so we're going to take the legs, and okay, I can do that. I watched her do it. I think we can do that. But if most heroes that I've heard of die, so if you die, I'm sorry if it was my fault, but don't die, because heroes shouldn't die. Just okay. He kind of just stutters of himself, and he goes back up, and you can feel the front legs lift here, and looking down, you guys can see from this chamber where this thing goes, and you can see through little slits that is now aimed directly. It takes probably 30 minutes to move it slowly. You probably are at an hour, 45 minutes left, and it's aimed directly there. You three are in the crystal chamber. The other four are in the control center. The mining platform is laying on its side with its laser dead center of the Chronos. What would you like to do?
I'll look at Andra, and I'll say, okay, remember in the ship, you gotta sit, you gotta breathe, you gotta feel it. If you just throw all of your Astra at this, you'll die. We'll both die. We need to do this together, you and me. All right? You gotta forget all that nonsense they taught you and listen to what I'm doing.
Right. Andra will sit down cross-legged and kind of just let Dorn guide her through this.
And much like the last time that we did this, it would be like a very slow breathing to the point where your heart is almost stopping. And then we'll just channel all of the Astra that he's capable of channeling. And would ask kind of mentally, I guess, for Andra to do the same. So, Dorn, I'm going to push all the way to the maximum fade tier. So I'll roll a bunch of dice, but I'm going to push as far as I can. Summon up all this Astra, and I want Andra to do the same. And then once we both have that, we would both touch the crystal, I guess.
Okay. Nardo, what are you doing?
So I think as they're making that preparation and they're just about to start hunkering down to meditate and get ready to build up their Astra, then touch the crystal, Nardo would make his way to the upper chamber. And the minute that gauge is high enough, that's when he's going to tell them to fire.
Okay, so you're going to go. Are you going to stay in the crystal chamber, or are you going to?
Is that where you activate the laser? Because if that's where it is, and
no, you activate the laser from the control room.
Yeah, so that's where he's going to go up to the control room.
Okay. And so, Andra and Dorn, you said both of you were kind of sitting and kind of meditating. Is that correct? So when you're doing this and you're kind of opening up yourselves to this energy and kind of channeling it like a spirit bomb from Dragon Ball Z, right? You're just kind of taking it all in, except it won't take 9 episodes to shoot it. Both of you, as you're touching this sphere, your eyes are closed, but you both seem to be able to envision what's going on. You can feel the energy in this ball grow and get bigger, slowly building and building. You two are connected. Dorn, you hear Andra's thoughts. Andra, you hear Dorn's thoughts. You share memories. Andra, you see what has happened to Dorn, what Dorn has done in his life, the terrible things he's done. Dorn, you see what Andra has done and the people she has hurt. And you both realized right then and there that although you are very different, how you came to be here is the same. You both hurt people. And you both realize that neither of you really want to do that anymore. And you have the ability in this moment to communicate as you're sharing this astralink and infusing these crystals with this energy. seeing each other like this in the most vulnerable state that you can be, and finally understanding one another. Would there be any thoughts to share? Or would you just leave it be?
Andra would get this like sense from Dorn. I guess she'd be able to see it, that he thinks he's going to die here, that they're both going to die here. That like channeling all this stuff is going to save the village, but that obviously they're like, here, there's too much Astra, they're going to both die. And she would feel that like Dorn kind of welcomes that. He's like unable to hide that. There's no bravado or anything. He's just like, maybe this is how I go, and maybe that would be okay.
Yeah, and Andra is afraid to die, but is encouraged by the sense of resolve that Dorn has, and she'll just be thinking of all the people that she knows who have died. The guy back when they were first escaping the Red Planet, and then basically Nardo, who isn't dead but is basically, may as well be dead, and her father on the flagship, and Racine and all the people from the Jungle Planet, and just kind of going through everyone that has died on her side, everyone that she's helped die, all the people in the collars, James and the captain falling 1,000 feet, and she's like, well, it only makes sense if we were going to share in the same fate as them.
And as you both resign yourselves to your fate, inside this chamber, both of you just have this burst of energy, and your bodies just become surrounded in this kind of blue aura as you're touching these crystals. And you see, and Nardo, you can see the light just bathing everything in the area. That snow is now bathed in this glowing blue light as this, you see that power creep up and up and up and up until finally, not only does it hit 80, it hits 90, it hits 100, and you see that gauge short out, just as sparks fly out the top. What do you do?
Nardo looks quickly at Jonathan and says, well, it's nice knowing you. And he presses the button.
And with that, you hear... And not only does this blue laser, probably 20 feet around, just get shot out, the shock of it knocks everyone in that control room back just flat prone. You see this laser not only hit the Kronos, but go through the Kronos, and a 30-foot hole goes back through the stern of this ship. As you see little secondary explosions, you see this giant ship begin to sink lower and lower on the horizon until it finally crashes into the ground. Just you see that ship, the captain's ship, Dorn, your ship, that tractor beam is broken. That ship stays there, it stays up in the atmosphere as just the smoke and fire just illuminate the darkness of the horizon. Andra, Dorn, both of you take 6 points of astrofade. I need each of you to roll what happens to you. Andra first.
Sorry, okay, so that's a D10 for 6 over my fade limit. And I rolled a 9. So That means Astra flares in a blinding flash, take 1d6 fire damage, and you are blinded until the start of your next turn.
Okay, Dorn.
4 damage.
Okay.
Do we also have to roll the previous ones? Like if you just go straight to 6, do you just roll that one?
Just go straight to 6.
Gotcha. D10. 6. Astra deadens your reflexes. The next attack against you gains advantage.
Okay. So both of you, as this power, this aura of Astra energy that surrounded you, it kept you alive. You both lie there in the crystal infusion chamber, prone, barely conscious, spent, your body's completely out of energy. The laser has fried everything where you are, Nardo. You see on the consoles, just, just everything gone. And you hear Jonathan's voice. He managed to stand up. And he looks at you, Nardo, and he's like, "We did it. I can't believe it. We did it. And you can see he's looking at you for something, Nardo. As Andra and Dorn lay prone and barely conscious in the crystal chamber, the AIC flagship Kronos crashed on the horizon. You see Jonathan crying. And he looks at you, Nardo, and he says, "You really are heroes." And that is where we end.
Yeah. It worked.
Fuck yeah. That was, sweet, awesome idea, Lloyd.
That was such a great idea, but as we progressed through the session, I'm thinking, we're fucked if this idea
Yeah, I know.
doesn't work. We're like leaving ourselves no time.
I was kind of surprised. I thought Drake was going to be like, "All right, guys, roll D20. If
That's what I thought, too.
10 or higher, then you hit the ship. If it's lower, you miss, and you're all going to die."
Well, you got all the checks done, all the technology checks to move them. So
That's true, yeah.
So guys, when I said the mining things and I sent that picture to Lionel, I was counting on one of you going, "Oh, we could shoot the laser at the ship." I really wanted you to do that. And that's why I gave Lionel that picture.
I think it's so great that Dorn was the one that thought about it, because he is the one that's more detached. And if Nardo would have thought about it, that wouldn't have fit. Because Nardo would be more worried about the human lives around him and Andra. So it probably wasn't until he mentioned it that he's like, "Shit, yeah, that'll work."
Dorn thinks about the mission, right? Like he's like almost programmed to only think about the target and the goal,
Yeah, that was great, guys. Thank you so much. I'm going to stop the broadcast here. Thank you for showing up early and spending a couple hours with us, guys. But these guys did a fantastic job as always. I'm going to stop the broadcast, and we'll see you next time.